My name is Corey Williams, and I am the president of Family First Life Genesis. And we get a lot of new agents that are starting with us that are passing the licensing exam and are asking how to apply for their license. And then we also have some that are already licensed in their current resident state, but not sure how to get licensed in non-resident license in other states, surrounding states, or states across the country. So leadership thought it was a great idea. We put this quick YouTube video together so that anybody can use and have a very quick understanding how to maneuver through NIPR, also known as National Insurance Producer Registry. So very quickly, as somebody is starting to start the process, when you go in and you take your exam, one of the things you have to do after you take your exam and pass your exam, congratulations, what you'll have to do is actually go in and apply for your license. So what does that mean? Well, after you apply for your license, most states, whatever testing center you have, they're required after you pass your exam to send your information to the Department of Insurance. They'll do all the back checking and everything else to make sure you're in good standing before they actually issue you a license for your state. So make sure that after you pass your exam, you give it a couple of days. Most of the time, NIPR or your testing center will tell you, give it 72 to anywhere between 48 and 72 hours for them to get the information dispatched to the state before you actually start the process. So what we're going to do today is simply go through a very quick process of going through the NIPR process to get licensed. And then I'll go through and show you the other part if you're trying to get a non-resident license as well. It's very simple, pretty much looks like the exact same process. Now, I'll tell you before we get started, some states do require different things. I am a Missouri resident, but I also have licenses in other states. So in Texas requires you get fingerprints. Even though I live in Missouri, I'm still required to get fingerprints. So I will go to some place here that the state of Texas recognizes a viable place to get fingerprints, and you can take care of that. Florida is another state where you have to get fingerprints. So even though I am a resident of Missouri, to get a non-resident license in Florida, I have to go. I don't have to take the exam, but I simply have to come through NIPR, apply for the license here, and then go get my fingerprints, and they will be submitted to the state before I'm approved. So again, before we get started with this, I'm going to go ahead and get this thing rolling. And again, if there's any content that you guys need as new agents that you'd like to see, we're happy to put that information out there to help you guys through the process, as we want everybody to be as effective and as efficient as they can here at FFL. So a couple different places you can go on here. If I scroll down the page, you can see on the left-hand side, apply for new license, renew existing license, printing your license. So the reason I'm showing you the printing your license, after you get the approval from the state and get it from NIPR, you can come out here and actually walk through a very simple process to print your license. Want to let you know where that's at. Good idea to keep your license on hand, especially so you can show it to potential clients so that they know that you are licensed with the state, etc. But I'm going to show you a different way to get in. So you have licensing center, I'm going to click on apply for license. Now, again, I'm licensed in multiple states, so my experience may be a little bit different than yours when you go out, but as it takes you through it, it's pretty common sense. The system does not allow you to go any further until you complete anything that it's asking for. All right. It won't let you make a mistake. So pretty simple stuff. I'm going to click on resident license, and then I'm going to click on go to the online application. Once I click that, you can see that it's going to give me options for individual and business entity. So we get this question a lot too, for some reason. If you just got your license, 99.999%, you don't have a business entity license because you just got your individual license. So simply click the information for your individual license. Your license number, your NPN number, your social security number are all options of things that you can do to look for your license, or to apply for a license. So since you're just now applying, you don't have a license number. You also don't have an NPN number, so you would have to use your social. Now, because this is recorded, I'm going to use my NPN because anyone can go to the Department of Insurance in your particular states. Maybe some states allow you this, some don't. I don't know all states, so I'm going to be very general here. But I'm going to go ahead and put my last name in. Spelling's important, right? And then I'm going to put my NPN, which again stands for National Producer Number, in the system. And once I put that in and click I accept all the terms for NIPR, I'm going to hit next. So a little pro tip here, you can see the back and next button. Those buttons are your friends. Again, you can't mess anything up here. The system's not going to allow you to submit forward if you don't have all the information that it requires. Last 4 digits of my social security, and then my birthday. I do accept presents. Just kidding. We're going to click next. And now, again, this is where our experience will be a little bit different. Most of the time when you come out here, they'll make you fill out a little bit more information, like your resume and that kind of stuff, but I'll show you that here in a second. Sometimes it requires you to do that, just depends on the state and how it's set up. Okay, so we're going to click start. Now, you're applying for your producer license. None of the rest of this applies to you. Now, also when you took your exam, I'm sure most states are the same, give or take. But if you were to move, I live in St. Louis. So if I were to move from St. Louis to, a nearby city, I live in Afton. So if I were to move to a nearby city, Brentwood or Kirkwood or Chesterfield, if I were to move, I have 10 days to come out here and click the contact change request and change my address, phone number, email. The state requires that you do that. Again, that was on the exam that you do that. Again, most states are going to be similar to that, 10 days, 14 days, etc. So you need to keep that in mind as well. So I'm simply going to click on producer license, and then we're going to pretend for right now that this is my initial license. I'm going to click initial, and then I'm going to click resident, okay, because this is my resident state. A resident state is a state that you live in. I'm going to click next. So now what's going to come up is all the states of the United States, 50 or 51, depends on where you're at or what you were taught in elementary school. And I'm just going to say Colorado. I'm going to click on Colorado. I'm going to scroll to the bottom and I'm going to hit next. Now you can see in that first blue box, second paragraph, please allow 3 to 5 business days for exam information to be received by NIPR. That's what I was speaking of in the front part of the video. So make sure that you're giving them 3 to 5 days before you start reaching out to NIPR and asking where your license is, etc. Again, if you have any additional questions about this, reach out to your leadership person or the person that brought you into the opportunity. Every state on here will look a little bit different. If you took the accident and health exam and the life exam, you're going to want to click accident and health and life. As you can see, they're 2 separate licenses. Some states will call it, it'll be separate accident, separate health, and separate life. You'll have to click all that apply to you. Again, if you have any questions, reach out to your leadership person. So I'm simply going to click life insurance. There's nothing else for me to click here. Your state may look a little different. And now I'm going to click next. When I click next, what it's going to do is take us to another page. And that page is the fees that they're going to charge. Again, the NIPR fee, and then the fee that they charge for the state. Whenever that decides to come up, you'll see it on here. And then you're going to simply click next. So we're going to give this just a second to do its thing. And there you go. Colorado resident producer license. You can see the state fee, the NIPR fee, for a total of $52. All right. So now we're going to click next again. And those buttons are your friends. So you can see my information is already in here because I am already licensed. But if you weren't, and this is your first time coming out here, you're going to have to complete this information. Again, very simple. If you're going through and you're not really sure what to complete, just follow it. If you make any mistakes, it's going to tell you where you need to complete it. Now, keep in mind, some of this information is not going to make sense to you. If it doesn't make sense to you, don't complete it. We have a lot of those questions as well. If you don't know what it is, chances are it doesn't pertain to you. All right. So I'm a male. My birthday 7/16/75. I'm a very proud U.S. citizen. I'm going to click next. Then it's going to take you to the address. Okay. I'm going to say use same address. Let's just say that it's the same address for my resident, my business, and my mailing. So I'm going to click the same for all of those. So I don't have to do it 57 times. And I'm going to go ahead and put my address in. Just going to put an address in here very quickly. And we're going to go ahead and tab down. St. Louis. Our state is Missouri. All right. And then zip code. Very good. Now I'm going to hit next. So if there was something in there that I missed, of course, it's going to blank it or read it out and tell me I have to get it done. So you can see I have check marks under the bio. I have check marks under your address. My phone number is correct. We're good. I'm going to hit next again. Now it's going to take me to the email address. So even though this is not asterisk, watch this. If I hit next, it's going to tell me I have to have a business email address. Now, what they're going to do is they'll send an email to you with correspondence after you send the information in. if there's anything else that's required, or they'll let you know that they've received your information and they're still waiting for it to be processed, if you will, as it comes in from the testing center. So I'm going to hit next. You can see it's let me through to the alias. I don't have any aliases. It's asking me again. I'm going to say no. And then this is the portion where, again, you're just going to complete your employment history after each employment section. So you can see it's asking me from the 16th to the 9/21. I can change all those dates in there. If I need to add more, I can hit next, or excuse me, hit add, and then add the next one. They're looking for your working history from the last 5 years. Once you go through that, it's going to take you to the next prompts, the background questions, and then the state-specific questions, and then it's going to have you pay the fee. Very simple, okay? So now I'm going to go back and I'm going to hit Licensing Center again, except this time we're going to go through a non-resident license. So keep in mind, you do not, I don't know all the states, but I'm going to tell you probably 95 to 98% of all of the states do not require you take another exam for that state. So let me give you an example. You live in Missouri, you're applying for a license in Iowa. All you have to do is come out here, fill out the non-resident form. That is once you already have your resident state license, fill out the form, send the information in, pay the fee. And if you're in good state in your current state, then you're in good shape and they'll issue you a license. Keep in mind, some states will require that you have fingerprinting done, and they will send you email correspondence letting you know that you have to get that done. Pretty simple stuff. Again, if you're not sure, reach out to your leadership person. I'm sure they'll be able to answer your questions there. All right, so let's go to non-resident license. You can see so far it looks exactly the same, except it's non-resident. I'm going to click on go to application. Again, you can see this looks exactly the same. I'm going to click start. Your experience may be a little bit different because I have several licenses already in the system, so it's recognizing that. So I'm going to go producer license. I'm going to go initial license, but now I'm going to go non-resident as before we went resident. As you can see, so far, everything looks the same. We're going to click next. We're going to click the good state of Colorado again. We're going to click, and again, if you're applying for multiple states, you can click all of those states at the same time. So you can apply for all of them at one time. All right. We're going to stick with Colorado for now. We're going to hit next. And now you're going to see here in just a second, when it pulls up the information, you can see it looks slightly different than it did before. There were a couple more options before, but since this is non-resident, these are only things that you can do non-resident in the state of Colorado. So we're just going to click life insurance. We're going to click next because that's the only thing that pertains to us. And then there's the fee. You can see it's a couple dollars more for non-resident, about 25 bucks more for non-resident than it is resident. That's okay. Colorado insurance producer life license, total fee, NIPR and state fee is $77.18. Not bad. So we're going to go next again. And now what it's going to do, exact same thing that it did before for the resident state. Now there's all my information again. Corey David Williams. I'm a male, birthday 7/16/75. I still will accept gifts. Just kidding. Proud US resident. I'm going to click next. And now you can see there's all the addresses and stuff that I put in there before. So if your resident is different than your business, is different than your mailing, for whatever reason, you can click the button and have 3 different addresses in there if you'd like. We're going to go next since we already have that information in. Now it's going to pull up my phone number information. That's all good. And then we're going to go here to the email, same thing we did before. So let's say I'm going to take that email out and add another one in here. All right, so we got that. We're going to hit next. And there we go. It's going to ask me for aliases. It's thinking because I don't have any. And then it's going to ask me again. We're in good shape there. And then we're back here to the employment history information where, again, you'll plug your information in. You'll go background question. And then what it'll do is send the information in. You'll get an email momentarily after that, letting you know that they're processing it, and they'll get back in contact with you, or it'll also let you know that you need to do fingerprints. So again, pretty simple process. So if you guys have any questions, again, reach out to your leadership person, if you will. Again, my name is Corey Williams, president of Family First Life Genesis, and hope this has helped you through the NIPR process. Again, if there's any additional videos or anything like that that you guys would like to see that would be helpful to you as new agents, you can reach out to me at any time via Slack at Corey Williams. Most of us at FFL here on Slack, or you can reach me at our website, joinfflgenesis.com. Bye for now.